Hello everyone, I wanted to make a video about Little Nightmares game. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a short or long one. I'm just gonna talk about this game and see how far it goes. I'm gonna divide it into two sections in this video. One will be completely spoiler free, nothing about the game, about the story of the game. And the second one, kind of what I think about the I don't know if you want to say theories or whatever, what I think about this story is, and it's going to be full of spoilers. And yeah, so the first game came out April 2017, and I was never made aware of this game. It was never under my radar, and I never noticed a game under such name exists even. Then with the Little Nightmares 2, this game was brought to my attention by a few friends. You know, they had some stories posted on Instagram, and I saw some videos on YouTube that were that have these upcoming games, and it seemed interesting to me. And then I saw a friend posted on Instagram about this game, that this is so great, blah blah blah, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. And I had never played the first game, and I usually don't go back because there's always so many new upcoming games, and I've got an RX 3080, so I prefer to play the most recent games, so I feel that I'm using that graphic card that I spent so much on. But so I did not start the first game, so I first played Little Nightmares 2, and I was like, holy shit, this game is amazing, this is like, wow. And at the end of the Little Nightmares 2, I kind of guessed, because honestly I had never played the game before, like the first one, and I was like, this game kind of looks like a prequel and not a sequel. I don't know what has happened in one, but it kind of felt to me that it could be a prequel, and it seemed that I was right. We still don't know, so this is not really a spoiler still. Then I was like, okay, I want to go and play the first game. And like immediately after I played the second game, I went and bought the first game with the expansion. You got to get the expansion. Holy shit, that expansion. And I love that game, and it was amazing. Like, this game is just insane. This story is insane. So the first part that is spoiler free is just me having a video out there to be just like, hey, go ahead and buy this game. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And right now on Steam, the first game is 80% off, just the main game, and it's like $5 right now. And the expansion, which has 3 extra chapters, the whole game is 4 chapters, and that one is 3 chapters. You've got to get that. At the time that I got it, it was not on sale, and it was $12.50 Canadian dollars, so it's not really that much. The second game is a bit more expensive, which you can guess because it's a new game, and I think it's $30 Canadian. You don't really need to get the full game until they put an expansion. There is a DLC, which is a very, very short DLC at this point, at least. Maybe they will add some extra chapters later on this game, but right now it's not worth it if you ask me. Just get the main game, and if they add some main DLCs, because that DLC is like, what, 15 minutes or something, and it's not really that much of a DLC of adding anything extra, just some side quest basically. So yeah, and definitely play the second game first. Play the Little Nightmares. If you have not played Little Nightmares 1, that's gonna be a blessing for you. Trust me. I'm not gonna say now for why. Sorry, I'm not gonna say why for now, but trust me, you wanna play the second game first, and then go back and play the first game, and it's gonna have a huge difference. Now, I'm gonna get to the spoiler part, and you can see from the I'm gonna caption the video so you know that this is the part that's gonna begin having the spoilers, and what I think about the game, what I think the story is, And I've read some other theories, so not all of them are mine. I'm gonna say what I think, what I thought the first time I played the game, and what I got from other resources. And I don't know where first they got it, so I really can reference something. But anyway, spoiler. So the reason I'm saying to play the first game, if you're here, you probably don't mind about spoilers because you probably have played the game. Now, the reason I said previously to play the second game first was that when I was playing the second game, I was never made aware of the dark side of 6. I had not seen the events of the first game. So when the Thin Man captured her, I was really worried. Like, I was freaking out that, like, please don't tell me that 6 is dead. And if I had played the first game, I would probably still be worried because she's still a character that we played as. But I would have seen that dark side, and I would definitely not care that much. I would like, meh, whatever. I wish, for example, she hadn't died, but if she's dead, whatever. So it had a big impact, and I was just rushing through the game kind of at that point. That was like, please just tell me that she's not dead. That's all I wanted to know. And then, well, she was not dead, and I was happy. Then the events happened and stuff like that. And then I went and played the first game. I was like, oh, wow, I did not know how she's gonna turn out. Now, there are a bunch of theories about the first game and the second game, especially the ending of the second game. And if you watch my videos, I'm gonna probably release them all at the same time the moment the full quality has been uploaded. But as you were seeing that sequence when Mono drops and he was growing up, and I was like, holy shit, he's gonna turn into the Thin Man. And he did. And so this seems to be kind of a cycle, and this is something that I had not paid attention to, so this is not mine. But at the point that you're at the bridge that 6 let go of your hand, I was not paying attention to this, but I read somewhere that they were saying, notice that this is the first time that 6 is seeing Mono without the hat, and she's seeing the face of this kid. And she was captured by the Thin Man, so technically she has seen the face of the Thin Man, probably up close. And she might have seen the resemblance between Mono and the Thin Man, and was thinking, okay, if I destroy this kid, the Thin Man will not exist anymore, because the previous Thin Man, I don't know what to say about previous because it seems to be a loop, so it's really hard to say previous, but whatever that guy was, the Thin Man is dead. Mono killed him. Now she's thinking this kid can become the Thin Man if he lives, so I'm gonna kill him and get rid of him. And she sees the resemblance between the face of Mono and the Thin Man, so that's why she decides that. Now, the interesting cycle here is that Mono becomes the Thin Man because 6 betrayed him. So now, there's a big question mark on the first part, is that did she know that Mono is going to become the Thin Man? Because there was one other theory that because people had played the first game and knew the dark side of 6, they were like, no, 6, it didn't have anything to do, they never bring that up, that 6 knows that this kid is going to turn into the Thin Man, Mono is going to turn into Thin Man, and she just kills him for different reasons. Some people are saying that she's a survivor, and she lets go of Mono so she can capture his power of being able to transport from TVs, from frequencies, because she could get out of the TV on her own for the first time. Previously, when you play the game, there is a scene that Mono is trying to get Six out of the TV, which means that Six did found the TV, but she could not get out on her own. But at the end of the game, she can. So people are saying that she killed Mono so she could grab some of her power, especially because of the ending of the first game, to be able to get out. And that was just the survivor part of her acting that I'm gonna kill you so I can be freed. Which kind of doesn't make sense to me, because if Mona was getting out, then she could also get out. Unless she wanted the power all for herself, not just being rescued out of there by the help of Mono. That could make sense. But if it's just like, I need to survive, only surviving, so I'm gonna kill you to get your power to get out. No, you could save Mono, and Mono could transport both of you out of the TV, which we saw that was happening, just the Thin Man didn't let it happen the previous time. Now, the other theory has to do with the music box and the fact that Mono put Six in danger many times. He kind of rescued her, but people are saying that that room at the Hunter's house was her safe place, and Mono came and ruined that. And she had that music box, and that music box is important to her. We see that music playing over and over and over again in the game. And Mono, by destroying that music box, even though he was trying to save her, he destroyed something of value to Six, and Six does hold grudges. So she killed him out of revenge. That could make sense a lot more to me than the previous theory that she's just a survivor. That doesn't really resonate with me. Now, this could be true. Like, she's a kid. It seems that at the time this game is happening, Six is 9 years old. I don't know where that thing is coming. I've not seen it yet. But she's a kid. She can hold grudges. She can get angry at you destroying something for her own sake, but she's not going to understand that. She's just going to see that you destroyed something that she loved. Now, that could make sense. So the two theories that kind of I'm okay with and do make sense. One is that she saw the resemblance between Mono and the Thin Man, and by trying to prevent Mono becoming the Thin Man, she actually makes Mono become the Thin Man by betraying him. Or she could be taking revenge on Mono for the fact that he destroyed that music box. And the other thing that they point out is that at the time that the Thin Man captures Six, Mono is hiding under the table, under the bed, and Six is holding her hand out, but Mono doesn't try to help her. Excuse me. And that's one of the things that she's gonna hate you for. That you did not come to save me when I asked for the help, and you destroyed the music box. I don't care that you did it for my own sake and you were trying to save me. You destroyed something I loved. Now, that seems to be becoming a cycle. Like, I want to differentiate between cycle and a loop. So you kind of seems to having a time loop that the young Mono rescues the Thin Man, which is himself basically, which is his older self technically. And so the little Mono goes on to rescuing Six, goes on to this journey, and Six is trying to prevent Mono from rescuing his old self, but she can't. That's what happens when he's trying to transform get from the TV to the door. Every time Six is pulling you out. So she's trying to prevent you to open the door, but it seems that it doesn't matter. If it's a loop, it has been happening many times. Six every time fails, and you open the door, and the Thin Man is rescued, and he captures Six, which makes you to go to the Dark Tower, and you rescue Six. Six betrays you. The young version of you becomes the new Thin Man. So it seems that this is a loop that is going on because the Thin Man can die out of old age, because we can see that Mono is growing up to become the Thin Man as we know him. So kind of it seems that the eye is controlling stuff that in a young kid, basically. It could be that it's not really a time loop, but it's just a loop of events. A young kid goes on to rescuing another kid, Mono and Six. They go on this journey. The little kid that has this ability to use the TV frequencies and stuff to transport rescues the Thin Man, and with the rest of the story becomes the new Thin Man so that the tower can keep operating. That could be one thing, or it could be that it is an actual time loop that the younger Mono and the older Mono can exist kind of at the same time, and they're just replacing each other, and it's an actual time loop, or it could be a loop of events. I'm not really sure. And now about the cycle, that's interesting to me is that Six is trying to prevent, based on one of the theories, Six is trying to prevent Mono from becoming the Thin Man by trying to kill him, but he becomes the Thin Man because of that betrayal. So that's another interesting cycle that's happening within the loop to me. Now at the end of the second game, now Six has been split into two, which happens the first time that the Thin Man captures her. You see that a kind of glitch of Six is left in that room, and during the first game, whenever you feed that hunger, if you've played the game you know what I mean, at different locations you see that glitch. So that's why I do think that Nightmares 2 is actually the prequel, because we at the end of that, during the game, we don't see any glitches about Six, but at the end of the game, not really the end, the moment the Thin Man captures her, the glitch comes to existence. And then during the first game, you keep seeing that glitch. So it kind of makes sense that the second game is actually a prequel, not a sequel. And it's interesting that at the end of there was this also thing that I heard that hunger could point to the fact that she has lost a part of herself. Now that could be because of the glitch. That could be because of what she has done, that there's a hollow in her soul. You can interpret it in different ways. But it seems that the glitch is pointing to the mall where people go there to satisfy their needs, and Six goes there to satisfy her hunger. So it seems that she kind of is going voluntary to the maw, which is the story of the first game. Now what's interesting about the first game to me, well, holy shit, the expansion that you start by eating real food. The first time is actually food the kid gives you. Then the second one is a raw meat. The third one is a rat. The fourth one, which the expansion had the story behind that, was the gnome. And the gnome was the kid that you played as in the expansion. And the lady, we know that the lady is turning, if you play the expansion you would know that the lady is turning kids into gnomes. And the gnome that you ate was the kid that you played as in the expansion. And in the last one, you killed the lady. And by not eating her, but it's kind of the same act that you feel that hunger and you're on your knees and you're biting her. So whatever, it could be the blood or whatever she's doing. And Six gets the ability of the lady. So people are also pointing out that was exactly, if you play my if you watch my playthrough, at the end of the first game was like, because I had played the second game by this time, I was like, if Mono was the Thin Man, could Six be the lady? But immediately I was like, nah, that cannot be true, because people are talking about like frequencies and how Mono and the Thin Man can coexist in the same timeline and stuff like that. But it was like, there's no way that Six and the lady could coexist at the same time if they're the same people. Now, I'm gonna go back to what I said. It could be an actual time loop again, or just a loop of events. Six and the lady are not necessarily the same person, but the events are a loop that a kid, Six, is saved by another kid, Mono. They go on their journey. That kid betrays Mono, and the glitch happens because of the Thin Man. She grows this hunger. She comes to the maw to feed that hunger, and that hunger grows to the point that she kills the lady and becomes the new lady. So it doesn't, and there was also a portrait of 5 pictures, and it was one of the comments of one of the videos. This is absolutely not mine. She was like, there are 5 ladies in that picture. Could 6 be the 6th version of the lady? Now, thinking about what I'm thinking, that this is not really a time loop, that 6 and the lady are the same person, but rather than it's a loop of events that there's always 2 kids that fall into this loop, and you also need time for the lady, for 6 to grow to become the lady, and then those 2 new kids become into existence, they're born, and the same events keep happening over and over again. So that's what I'm thinking, that maybe it's not a time loop, but it's loop of events. That could be more interesting to me, and you don't have to go to weird philosophical things about like how could they coexist. There's no coexistence. They're 2 different people, but they will end up to be the same thing. Not person, but the same thing. And people are pointing out that both the maw and the signal tower, they need someone to operate. It seems that that's how the eye is working. That it's feeding under darkness, but blah blah blah, but whatever. The eye, it seems that the eye needs someone in the tower or in the maw so that these places can keep operating. And it seems that the eye is controlling this loop, maybe these loops. It could be basically there are 2 loops that are happening not at the same time, but you get out of the first loop to just go to the second loop, and this thing just keeps happening over and over again. But what's interesting in the expansion pack of the first game is that you see other kids that are free, not just the kid that you played as. At the beginning of the game, there is a girl in front of you that's trying to escape. We never see that kid again. Like, after a few minutes that you see her having a flashlight, and after a few minutes you pick up a flashlight in the middle of nowhere, basically. So it could point out that she was and at the same time, at the beginning of the game, in the expansion pack, you see that, I forgot, the janitor, I don't know, the guy that's blind and has long hands, he captured another kid, not the girl, another kid. He's looking around, and when you move a bit forward, you see that he's got a kid. So other kids are in this world, and the game can break out of this cycle by introducing a new character, because we've saw other characters. A kid that we kind of never saw that was captured by that dude. Then there was a girl that had the flashlight. We also didn't understand what happened to her, but she probably also got captured or something. That's why the flashlight was left there. And then the kid that we played as, we ended up being captured by the lady, but technically we could have been someone like Six that get to, escape. Whatever you call escaping. Six didn't really escape, but you can technically at least survive. So they can introduce other characters, and it's interesting to see if they want to introduce a character that's trying to break this cycle, somehow is aware of this cycle and is trying to break that cycle, and the eye is also controlling that character, that breaking of the cycle for some reason is not happening. And it would be really interesting if they attach it to the events of these two games, that something that these two characters, Mono and Six, are doing is preventing the other character to break the cycle. Or they could be just, I don't know, the game could introduce a whole new loop, that the events of, for example, the end of the first game, for example, makes a kid to escape that place, and that kid has another journey, which you end up seeing another loop. And this way, kind of the eye is controlling everything, not just these two specific places. So they could either introduce a new place with a new cycle in it, with a new character that is responsible for that cycle, or they could introduce another character and keep these two worlds, and a character that's trying to break this cycle of the eye, and he or she's failing for some reason. And in the fourth game, they could do that. Somehow a new character, like this loops and cycles can go on forever, right? But they could bring it to the point that the character you're playing as does something different at an instance, and it's going to break out the cycle. Like it's a domino effect, right? If one of the cycles break, then, and it seems that the cycles are connected to each other, like Mono has to get betrayed by Six, so Six grows that hunger to go to the maw. Now, if she doesn't get captured by the Thin Man, or she doesn't betray Mono, she doesn't have to go to the maw, so that cycle breaks out by the fact that the first cycle is broken. So that could be another interesting thing that the games can do, but I would really love to see what they're gonna do with the rest of this game, and I just hope that it's not gonna take them another 4 years to come up with the next game, because it doesn't seem hard to... This story is complicated, and all the tiny details they've left out in the games, I'm not going to talk about them. There are videos out there that talk about all these details that they have paid attention and they deserve the credit. I'm not going to make a video from their content. But the game itself is not a huge world or, you know, some fancy environment or anything. So to me, developing the game when you have this story seems to be pretty easy, but getting that story together, that's going to be interesting. And it's not easy. It's a platformer, I know, and it's hard to come up with those puzzles that are really sometimes hard and confusing, and you just go around for an hour not knowing what to do. So I'm not saying that's an easy thing to develop a game like this, but it's not hard when you know the design and the concept. That's what I mean. But anyway, I just wanted... Sorry, it got too long. I'm just so fascinated by this game, and I just wanted to make a video. And you see that there's nothing fancy here. I just started recording. I'm not gonna edit this video at all. I just wanted to tell people, just go ahead, buy this game and play it. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be 10 hours, so if you got a weekend, that's all you need. Just have one full day of just playing Little Nightmares, and it's just amazing, amazing, amazing. You gotta play it. Anyway, if you have played the games, let me know what you think of the game and what do you think the story is. I would really love to know other people's opinion. And yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe and like. This channel, I don't really discuss many games in this channel. It's mostly about me playing the games, and I wanted to have a community of friends to, you know, play games, enjoy the games together. But this time I was like, I'm gonna make a video about the game because I want as many people as possible. Unfortunately, this is a small channel, so I'm not sure how many people I will reach out to, but hopefully some people will. And you gotta play this game. That's all I have to say. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk for any much longer. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one. Take care, everyone.